Everyone. I hope that you enjoy the sound of the bell, which invites us into our sitting. I'm going to screen share the refuges as we invite them in Appamada. Many of you know these, of course, but for those of you that don't, this will help you see them. And I want to speak a bit about this today. So let's all say this together. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Sangha. We take refuge in Buddha before all being, immersing body and mind deeply in the way, awakening true mind. We take refuge in Dharma before all being, entering deeply the merciful ocean of Buddha's way. We take refuge in Sangha before all being, bringing harmony to everyone, free from hindrance. Now all being has completely taken refuge in Buddha. Now all being has completely taken refuge in Dharma. Now all being has completely taken refuge in Sangha. Thank you so much for being here today. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the refuges, typically they're just said as I. I take refuge in Buddha, not just the historical Buddha, but I've come home to the teacher, my own true nature even. I take a refuge or fly back to Dharma, the way things actually are, the sort of the understanding of the way the universe actually works. From a Dharmic point of view, I take refuge in Sangha, to the community of people like we are right now. And typically it's recited 3 times in that way, but we've shifted that to include we as the collective interpersonal relational way of taking refuge together, and then the universal at the end, now all being. And those beautiful poetic descriptors in the middle, we take refuge in Buddha before all being, immersing body and mind, and all those come from the full moon ceremony, and which is done in most Zen temples on the full moon. And here we are, pretty close. And it's a beautiful way of deepening our understanding of the refuges and that they're relational. And then that all being, not all beings, but all being are actually the contingent flow of reality as Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha all the time anyway. So there are various ways to think about this, and we've attempted to open them up and deepen them. But I want to emphasize what you saw in Bull before all being in just a bit. But first, I want to say something on a personal note. I want to dedicate today's inquiry to someone. I want to dedicate inquiry to my nephew, Jacob, who's visiting my mom and his mom, my sister Kathy, in San Marcos this week. I'm going to share a poem in a bit written by a woman, a poet, who is a non-speaking autistic woman. And since she is not neurotypical, and there's so much wisdom coming forward in her words in what she's written, I just had the impulse to dedicate this inquiry to Jacob, who also is neurodivergent in his own unique way. And we as a family witness so much wisdom and compassion move through him in ways that surprise us and invite us to consider new alternative perspectives on things because of the way that he's put together and the way that he communicates. So I wanted to honor him, and I hope you will join me in doing so. So as we return to the refuges, and especially those words that were in bold, which sometimes are, I think, a little mystery to somebody, before all being. You notice it doesn't say before all beings. It doesn't mean before beings came about, and it doesn't mean in front of, before, or in response to beings. Before all being, what could that point to? Prior, there are many ways one might delve into that, but the way it's striking me is prior to becoming who we become as we create these selves, these complicated human constructions. What is this pointing to? And sometimes they show up as this kind of human or that kind of human. And I even use words like neurodivergent or neurotypical, or we can say male and female. We can say speaking or non-speaking. We're so complicated. Well, what's this before all being pointing to? This question for our inquiry today. I was reading something. I'm sure some of you will read the beautiful work by Maria Popova. It used to be called something else, which I can't think of at the moment. Now it's called The Marginalia, and she pulls together things in remarkable ways. It's really tremendous. And in one that I was reading, when actually she was reflecting on the poet that I'm going to speak about in a bit, and she quoted Milton from Paradise Lost, something very ancient. But listen to the quote that she extracted from Milton's work. She said, "The mind is its own place, and in it, self can make a heaven of hell, a hell of heaven." So I'll read it again. The mind is its own place, and in it, self can make a heaven of hell or a hell of heaven. And then she writes, and these are her words, "Grief and despair, heartache and humiliation, rage and regret, this is the hellfire of the mind, hot as a nova, all-consuming as a black hole. And yet, if we are courageous enough and awake enough to walk through it, in it we are annealed, forged stronger, and reborn." She's not quite holding back on the language there, is she? It's extremely powerful that we know we can create heaven or hell in any moment as we create and hold to and cling to the self-centered dream, the separate self, and all that goes with it. And she speaks of this in a very visceral and powerful way. But practice offers us the possibility of surviving what physics say we can't escape. She says an all-consuming is a black hole, the all-overwhelming gravity of a black hole. And sometimes our feelings feel like that. The hell that we create in our mind feels like that. So if we rely solely on conditioning, our habits, our everyday coping, our automatic nature of operating in the world, just our thoughts and feelings only, we can be consumed in everyday suffering. But refuge reminds us that there's a way through, a way in which we are, in her words, annealed, forged stronger, and reborn. So these are not new teachings, I know. And I was reflecting on this, and I read this sort of inspiring and strong thing. And I felt a little kind of a little battered and buffeted by that, as she described grief and despair, heartache and humiliation, rage and regret. But, I just watched the news. And there all was, of course, which is sometimes a mistake, I think. And then so often, as happened right then, a poem arrived. And this time via my recently adopted, one of my recently adopted teachers that I've spoken to you about, Padre Botuma. And he offered this poem by Hannah Emerson, a non-speaking autistic woman who has a magnificently direct experience of what I was barely touching, but what was calling me to try to deepen my own inquiry about this before all being. And in Hannah Emerson, in her unique body-mind configuration, it becomes, the title of her poem is, Keep Yourself at the Beginning of the Beginning. And I was stunned to hear, keep yourself at the beginning of the beginning. So I'm going to read the poem. And by the way, I looked up how readings are done because she doesn't speak. And I saw online there are large gatherings you can see recordings of with many people like this online and Zoom. And she is with an assistant where she is, and people ask questions, and she has a device in which she can type out responses. It's very moving. So now I'm going to speak her words. And so follow her and her unique Dharma gates of profound refuge. And listen to her non-ordinary ways, this neurodivergent language, as a path of return, of refuge. And it has to be spoken, so I hope I speak it well for her. Also, I want you to pay attention to the repetition and the yeses and the kisses. So just follow me in this unique flow. Keep yourself at the beginning of the beginning, by Hannah Emerson. Please try to help me go to the joy that is trying to go to the beautiful, helpful beginning of the very trying freedom that we make our great light, that is nothing but the laughter that is fooling us into believing that we go to the trash bin. That is your life, that becomes the treasures that live in the bottom of the bin. That is your life. Yes. Please try to dive down to the beautiful muck that helps you get that the world was made from the garbage at the bottom of the universe that was boiling over with joy, that wanted to become you. Yes. Please try to go to the colors that kiss you, great, great, great person of light that is becoming you, you, you. Yes, yes. Please try to keep yourself in the bottom of the bin. Yes, yes. Please try to go to the kissing muck that is very true to your life. Yes, yes. Please try to meet me there. Yes, yes. Please try to bring your beautiful nothing there. Yes, yes. That's quite something, isn't it? I'll read it again, but first, I was going to make some comments on it, but Padraig was so good, I thought, why should I redo it? It's just, I'll read him for just a little bit. He says, this is a poem that you first of all feel, I think, and then hear in the feeling this profound pleading to recognize that the voices that say you're rubbish or garbage or in the trash or in the bin, these voices are implying you're nothing. And what Hannah Emerson does so brilliantly is to say, you're not rubbish. You are not nothing. You are the universe exploding. And that nothing is an invitation. Nothing is an invitation into participation in what it means to be alive. And I think this is what the refuges are offering us. He goes on, Hannah Emerson de-centers humanity from being the center of the world. She stands at the edge and looks and says, look at the solar system. Look at the universe. Look at the stars. We are nothing. That's not rubbish. That's the everything. Please try to get to the beginning of the beginning. He says this poem is a deep pleading to pay attention to the brilliance of your life. When we can recognize we're so small, that isn't rubbish. That isn't discardable. That is both nothing and everything. When Hannah wrote about her poems, if you look on her website, said this is a person who's profoundly autistic and you think somewhat distant. This is what she says, please kiss the page that I write on. Trying to get you to see the universe in the way that I do. Yes, yes. Please try to kiss the animal inside you trying to bite you. Yes, yes. Please try to kiss the nothing that is waiting for you. Yes, yes. Please try to find your deeper ear, great teachers you can hear more than the normal way. Yes, yes. Please try to live in the cauldron of magic that we swim in. Yes, yes. Please try to go to the great, great, great mother of all. Yes, yes. I love you. Yes, yes. This is an extraordinary invitation into recognizing how small we are in the face of the everything that is everything, and that there's joy in recognizing that. Padraig Otuma says it's a certain poem of persuasion and intimacy, but it's also a poem that is a certain form of imperative. It's giving an instruction. Keep yourself at the beginning of the beginning. The first book that she published, the collection of poetry, was called You Are Helping the Great Universe Explode. That's the title of the collection. You Are Helping the Great Universe Explode. the way we say it in practice is the Dharma doesn't continue unless you embody it and carry it forward. It's once again, Padraig Ray says, it's almost like you're overhearing a quiet whisper at the beginning of the Big Bang, speaking amazingly to you, saying, stay here, watch, look at the explosion. All the nothing that's here will become the everything. And toward the end of the poem, there's another imperative line or invitation. She says, please try to meet me there. Please try to meet me there. Yes, yes. So I'm so grateful for this poem that has come from this profound engagement of the mystery. The mystery of us as humans being alive and observing and talking, but knowing we're this speck of dust in a vast, vast universe. So I hope you're following along okay. This is such unusual language, but it's so beautiful and compelling. I'm going to go back through the three refuges now with tiny segments from other of her poems. So just let this swirl. So first, we take refuge in Buddha. Here's a tiny piece from one of her poems called Each Tree Teacher is Dreaming Us Through. This is just a snippet of a poem. Please try to kiss the nothing that is dreaming you into this great, great, great nothing. That is reality. That is the great, great, great now. So I'm going to weave that with my apologies to the Buddha and also to Hannah. We take refuge in Buddha. Please try to kiss the nothing that is dreaming us into this great, great, great nothing that is reality. Before all being, immersing body and mind deeply in the way, awakening true mind, the reality that is the great, great, great now. You hear her refuge in Buddha. We take refuge in Dharma. The first line of the poem I just wove into the refuge with Buddha was, please try to kiss the nothing. This poem called Loom of Light, the first line is, please try to kiss the reality. Here's the piece of the poem. Please try to kiss the reality that is helping us try to make our self-reality. That is dreaming, is trying to help us go to great, great, great mother, trying to help us go to the universe, that is trying to become the earth. Yes, yes, make that universe the reality that is dreaming us into nothing. Yes, yes, love the fabric that is weaving us into the dream that is us. Yes, yes. We take refuge in Dharma. Please try to kiss the reality that is helping us try to make our self-reality that is dreaming. Before all being, trying to help us go to the great, great, great mother, trying to help us go to the universe that's trying to become the earth. Yes, yes. Before all being, entering deeply the merciful ocean of Buddha's way, make the universe the reality that is dreaming us into nothing. Yes, yes, love the fabric that is weaving us into the dream that is us. Yes, yes. And a couple of weeks ago, the ancient brocade, weaving us into the ancient brocade. And then finally, we take refuge in Sangha. A tiny bit of her poem, Kiss Everyone. She says, I notice the heaviness that you make your life, trying to become reality that isn't you. Yes, yes, make yourself into the freedom that is greeting you, becoming beauty itself. Yes, yes. We take refuge in Sangha. before all being, noticing the heaviness that you make your life, trying to become reality that isn't. Bringing harmony to everyone, free from hindrance. Make yourself into the freedom that is greeting you, becoming beauty itself. Yes, yes. So I know this is unusual language, and I know that it's kind of swirling around, but I hope that it's opening something. One last bit. I read a beautiful article about another autistic writer who had written a memoir, an autobiography, and it was published to great acclaim. And the publisher wanted to interview her, but it was difficult to do so. But they made an agreement that they would take a walk. They were in New York City. And the author said, let's go to the Museum of Modern Art. I don't want you to face me, but we can walk together and we can be in this big space. And the author of the article, who was reporting this, said one of the most remarkable things happened when they walked into the immense gallery that held the huge canvases of Manet's lily pads, that the woman walked to the wall the furthest away from the canvases, pressed her body against the wall, and looked at the canvases out of the corner of her eye because they were so overwhelming. If we were that sensitive, this is Hannah's poem, Peripheral. Yes, I prefer peripheral because it limits the vision. It does focus my attention. Direct looking just is too much killing of the moment. Looking oblique littles the moment into many helpful moments. Moment, 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 moment. Keep in the moment. Keep yourself in the beginning of the beginning. So goodness, I don't know what you'll do with all of that, but to me, it was so beautiful and so inspiring to take that line from our refuges, before all being, and allow a teacher with a unique perspective kind of draw me into the universe and swirl me around in a way that opened it up even further. To learn to say yes, to kiss each moment, each moment, each moment. To try to meet her there at the beginning of the beginning. So what does this move around in you, in your inquiry about what it means to take refuge in who or what this is that becomes something that can make a heaven of a hell or a hell of a heaven? Was there any Dharma gate there at all for any of you? Or was it just me?
Now we have Ed.
My courageous friend, Ed.
Howdy. Obviously that was a bucketful. And it's almost, I'm finding it very difficult to try and just that quickly after being flooded with so much to be able to, respond in words. And one of the,
and she doesn't speak. And I thought, one of the appropriate responses to this is to not say anything.
Thank you. That's what I was getting at. It's almost something you just want to feel and you're going to think about it, but to have an appropriate sense of words, an appropriate set of words, is very difficult and maybe not even necessary.
Mhm.
Um, and it's always amazing how the language of poetics can take the most complicated thing and make it so direct, to feel or to understand and to apply simplicity, or to take the simple and layer it so complex, in such complexities. And I want to thank you for sharing that in this way. And of course, Padre Otuma is my secret love. No, he belongs to me. uh, but yeah, there's just an overabundance of depth, and it probably couldn't have come across the same way if she had the ability to speak. Uh,
Well, I tell
so
you what, if I screen share it, why don't you read the main poem? Because
I
you
can
don't
give
know,
it
you
a
haven't
shot.
seen it before. Just make your way through it.
Okay,
Hear it again. Would you be willing to do that?
sure.
Let me find it in my notes here. It's written also in a unique structure, as you might expect.
Yeah.
And I'll everybody can see it. That'll help also.
Oh wow.
So can you see that okay?
Make it just a hair larger. There we go.
That big enough?
Yes, I
Oh,
love that structure. That
well,
tells you what
look at the whole thing.
Phew.
So here's the story. Kodrick was reading this in a cafe in New York City, and he read it over and over and over, and he couldn't figure out. So the waitress in the cafe came by and said, "Can I get you anything?" Which he said she probably meant, "Do you want another cup of coffee? Can I help you?" And he said, "Yes, you can. When you look at this poem, what do you see?" And she said, "Mountains."
Uh,
So read
mountains.
this with the way it moves through you, Ed.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, because following traditional line breaks for breathing and reading, I don't think
You
will work.
gotta just abandon yourself and go with it.
All right. Please try to help me go to the joy that is trying to go to the beautiful, helpful beginning of the very trying freedom that we make our great light that is nothing but the laughter that is fooling us into believing that we go to the trash bin that is your life, that become the treasures that live in the bottom of the bin that is your life. Yes, yes. Please try to dive down to the beautiful muck that helps you get that the world was made from the garbage at the bottom of the universe that was boiling over with joy that wanted to become you. You. Yes. Please try to go to the colors that kiss you. Great person of the light that is becoming you. Yes. Please try to keep yourself in the bottom of the bin. Yes. Please try to go to the kissing muck that is very true to your life. Yes. Please try to meet me there. Yes. Please try to bring your beautiful nothing there. Yes.
What remains? What happened? What remains? Yeah, that.
Yeah, that. Thank you. It's as powerful to read it as to hear it.
Yeah, you have to make it with your body. But
Yeah, my heart.
this is practice. This is practice. This is practice. Why we have to embody these things.
Mm.
Why we chant like we do and sit like we do and move like we do and meet each other. This is the embodiment. This is what she's showing us.
I'm literally vibrating. My body is just vibrating and my heart's pumping and chicken skin all over. Wow, that's amazing.
Mm.
Thank you to Hannah. Thank you to you. Thank you to Podrick.
Yeah, you can hear his whole thing, of course, on this poem.
Yeah, and on being Poetry Unbound, I mean.
And thank you for stepping into it. And that turning on a dime I talked about last week,
Mm.
the teacher says, will you do this? You say, yes. And you do it wholeheartedly. And you feel the impact of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have Rosemary.
I like that, Rosemary. I just caught that on your face. Whoa.
Yeah, I'm kind of winging it here.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I'll say some words that come to me, but such passionate care in her for the listener, the person she's communicating with. It's like, and I'm really moved by that. And her message, she has lots of messages, but they all kind of converge into this bin, I guess, of the you and the beginning, and stay with her, stay with the kiss. It's very sensual.
Isn't it interesting when you consider this coming from an autistic person who might not be strongly drawn to interpersonal intimacy in an ordinary way?
In an ordinary way, yeah.
That is this tender, kiss the moment, kiss the universe, kiss reality, meet me there. And then yes.
Yeah, just such a powerful invitation, and urgent.
Urgent.
Yeah. Yeah, really moving, beautiful, and yeah, very touching.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thanks for kissing this moment. Rosemary always has the best lipstick for kissing the moment. And I hope every time you recite the refuges now, they will be different. Every time you say before all being, it will be the universe exploding into the nothing, which is you, which is everything.
I was stuck in traffic and arrived late and just walked into this.
Oh,
And I feel like, the pressed against the wall and just looking with one corner of my eye. I when that line hit, or when you said that part, I was just like, oh, I really get that. I know what it is to be that awestruck. And I also know what it is to be paralyzed. The kind of the other side of that. And I feel the places I've been untrue, and I'm feeling the places that I've let shame cause damage to me and others. And I want to apologize for that, and let everyone know that I'm trying to come forward.
of course.
And I'm just sort of noticing like the fragility of life. I've recently been to a funeral of one of my mom's dear friends and seen my mom age, and um, I guess I'm looking for a question or an answer to tenderness.
You're looking for tenderness?
I'm looking to make it easier, I guess.
Well, I'm gonna do the same thing that I did with Ed. I'm gonna screen share
Oh, okay.
one of those smaller pieces. And it's because of who you are and what you do, it's about light.
Hmm.
And I want you to read just the small piece
Okay.
and see where you go there. See this loom of light? You got that?
Yeah.
Start with please try to kiss the reality down to there. Yes, yes.
Please try to kiss the reality. Please try to kiss the nothing from above that is helping us try to make our self reality that is dreaming, is trying to help us go to the great, great, great mother, trying to help us go to the universe, that is trying to become the earth. Yes, yes. Make that universe the reality that is dreaming us into nothing. Yes, yes. Love the fabric that is weaving us into the dream that is yes, yes.
The dream that is us.
Oh, the dream that is us.
Yes.
Funny that I skipped that.
Love the fabric,
Love the
including the
fabric.
shame,
Oh,
including vulnerability, including the tenderness that is weaving us into the dream that is us. Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Has that tenderness arrived now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that was your request.
Getting what you asked for, man.
I know, I know. The laughter, even there's the laughter that was in there too. The laughter that is,
Yeah, that lightened it up. Thank you, Flint. Thank you, everyone.
you. Thank you. Thank you for not holding back, just jumping right in. Lisa.
Hi,
Lisa.
I am unmuted.
You are unmuted. I hear you.
I am unmuted.
You
Yeah.
are unmuted.
And you would never know if I were thinking those thoughts because I'm unmuted always. If you know what I'm trying to say. And Hannah is always verbally muted, except through whatever device she works with. But the main thing I wanted to say is there is utterly no sense of separation in this poem.
Yeah.
It is fully present with what is. It is very immediate in a visceral way. It's like there's no filters. I don't feel the filters of conditioning that I might have. And, for me, even more as I'm processing and hearing what others have to say, I visualize myself being immersed with Hannah below the ocean, surrounded by water. So for me, her expression was so powerful and so atypical and so unfiltered that it took me to a very embodied place that I might not experience with a poem that was crafted differently.
Yeah.
It was really amazing, and I'm so grateful for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Absolutely. And that's why I shared it, because of that. So thank
Yeah.
you.
We have Chris.
Hi.
There you go. Got it.
So I feel this, I feel as though I've been turned inside out, like this inversion. And I have this really peculiar feeling that we're the ones who are atypical and that she's actually speaking English, or she's speaking in a way that maybe we were supposed to be speaking, or more authentic or something, that we're the ones who are handicapped.
That's the other reason I shared it. It's like,
Mm.
oh, and to say the words like I was doing, and to say the words like I asked, Cassie and to Ed, suddenly you enter that space, but it's what every sutra is for.
Mm.
And so, oh, this is an awake way, I think. And this is one of them. But this one somehow just whirls me into it.
Mm.
An inside out way. I really understand what you're saying. It's why I couldn't not bring it forward in the way that I did. And so I'm glad that she says, meet me there. I'm glad you met me there.
Mm.
And we meet everything there.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Francis.
When you were reading, particularly, I had a sense of twirling, being just internal movement. And I think that autistic people are vibrating. They just are vibrating at a different place. And it's very difficult for us to feel that vibration because we have so much interference that we have complicated things. And so right now, I feel that inner vibration from her. And it's enviable to realize that if those barriers are, if we can get rid of them even for a moment, it brings a different quality to our lives.
Yeah, as you said that, I thought that's one of the reasons she uses the imagery of kissing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So we're right at the end of our time. And one of the pieces of one of the poems I read in terms of refuge and Sangha was to kiss everyone. It's about Sangha. So will you read that one?
Sure.
It's just this very small piece right here.
Okay. Kiss everyone. I notice the heaviness that you make your life trying to become reality that isn't you. Yes, yes. Make yourself into the freedom that is greeting you, becoming beauty itself. Yes, yes.
So even as you just went through those few lines, your voice changed. You could feel yourself starting to And this is something I know that is just a quirky thing, but I thought, oh, imagine yourself standing in the hallway in the school where you were a principal and looking at all those kids, all those, and notice the heaviness that you make your life trying to become reality that isn't you. Yes, make yourself into the freedom that is greeting you, becoming beauty itself. Yes, yes. All those years, all those kids, let alone ourselves. So,
and every now and then you would see it.
yeah.
Most of the time, you're trying to make them not run in the hallway or something.
Thank you, Frances, and thank you for reading.
Yes.
We will let's invite the verse of the robe. So we continue to invite the vastness. Vast is the robe of liberation, a formless field of benefaction. Wearing the universal teaching, I realize the one true nature, thus harmonizing all being. Vast is the robe of liberation, a formless field of benefaction. Wearing the universal teaching, I realize the one true nature, thus harmonizing all being. Vast is the robe of liberation, a formless field of benefaction. Wearing the universal teaching, I realize the one true nature, thus harmonizing all being. Thanks for going along with me.
Thank you so much, Flint. Wow, that was that was powerful. A few people messaged in the chat to say they just felt so stopped, that they wanted to speak, but they felt so stopped by it. So thank you for all those people that didn't come forward but wanted to, and thank you all for being here. And thank you all for supporting Appamada in all the ways that you do. It's really, really appreciated. And if you'd like to offer dana, then please do go to appamada.org and you will find a place to offer dana to Flint and the other teachers and facilities there. So thank you all so much. And if you'd like to continue for a further 30 minutes, then please do pop yourself into gallery view, and I'll come and I think I need to come and join you all after that. So thank you all so much. Thank you. See you all soon.